Marcus stood frozen in the middle of the office, his breath shallow, heart pounding against his ribs. Around him, keyboards clicked and phones rang. But all he could hear was the echo of his manager's voice, proudly presenting his work as if it were their own. Again, this was the third time in 2 months. The app redesign, the market analysis, and now the client pitch, all Marcus's ideas, all hijacked. He clenched his jaw so hard it hurt. His fingers curled into tight fists at his sides. The heat rising in his chest wasn't just anger. It was betrayal, humiliation. He had stayed late, skipped weekends, worked through fevers, all for someone else to shine while he was told to just be a team player. 1,000 reactions raced through his mind. He imagined flipping the table, shouting across the room, calling out every lie in front of the team. He could quit right here, make a scene they'd never forget. It would feel good for a moment. But something stopped him. A voice, calm and steady, echoed in his memory, a quote he'd saved from Denzel Washington. Don't let your emotions overpower your intelligence. Marcus closed his eyes for a second, drew in a slow breath, and let the noise fade. This wasn't the moment to burn bridges, not yet. He had too much to lose and even more to gain if he played this right. He unclenched his fists, smoothed down his shirt, and walked back to his desk. No one noticed the fire he had just extinguished. No one saw the shift. But Marcus did. He wasn't giving up. He was just done playing emotional games. It was time to move smarter. Each morning, Marcus arrived at the office with the same calm expression, the same steady walk to his desk. But inside, everything had changed. He no longer waited for recognition. He no longer hoped someone would speak up on his behalf. Instead, he began to move with quiet purpose. During breaks, he wasn't scrolling aimlessly through his phone anymore. He was studying, researching, and planning. He made a list of every achievement, every metric he had improved, and started documenting his progress like a strategist preparing for battle. At home, his evenings became sacred. No more burning out for a company that didn't see him. He dedicated time to refining his resume, crafting a powerful portfolio, and reaching out to professionals he admired on LinkedIn. He joined webinars, attended virtual meets, and asked bold questions in industry chats. He started thinking like a free man, not a trapped employee. Colleagues noticed a shift. Some whispered that he didn't seem as invested anymore. Others assumed he was giving up. They had no idea that Marcus was actually moving in silence, setting the stage for the biggest pivot of his career. One afternoon, while the office buzzed with yet another pointless emergency that could have been avoided, Marcus was seated in a quiet cafe downtown, dressed sharply, speaking confidently to the hiring panel of a global tech firm. Every answer he gave reflected not only skill, but experience hardened by restraint. When the offer came a few days later with a salary double what he made now and a leadership title, Marcus simply smiled. He accepted with grace. Back at the office. No one knew. Not yet. He returned to work, completed his tasks, and even offered help where needed. But every day now was a countdown. He had detached, and now he was rising. Asterisk 6 months had passed. The office was hosting a leadership development seminar, and the auditorium buzzed with anticipation. Employees, managers, even some executives gathered to hear from a special guest speaker, a former employee who had risen fast in the tech world and was now recognized for his insight into leadership, resilience, and career strategy. Asterisk, when Marcus stepped onto the stage, the room fell into a hush. Asterisk, he looked different, confident, composed, powerful. He wore a sharp tailored suit, his voice calm but commanding as he addressed the crowd. Some people in the room exchanged surprised glances. It was him, the quiet guy who used to work here. Asterisk, his old manager, sat stiffly in the back row, eyes narrowed, arms crossed. He didn't clap when Marcus was introduced. He didn't have to. Marcus noticed him, and he remembered everything. But he didn't let the past interrupt his message. Asterisk, Marcus spoke not about revenge or frustration, but about focus. He shared how learning to control emotion, to act with patience, and to think long-term changed everything. He told the room, asterisk, greater than. There'll be times when you're tempted to react, to shout, to storm out, to make someone see your worth. But real power isn't in reacting. Real power is in knowing when to step back, realign, and move like a strategist. He paused, letting the silence settle, then added, greater than detach emotionally. Move strategically. Don't get caught in petty battles. Aim for the war that matters. Asterisk, the room erupted in applause. Even those who had overlooked Marcus before now looked at him with something close to a asterisk. As the seminar ended and people gathered to shake his hand, Marcus caught one final glance at his former boss. No words were exchanged. There was no need. The silence said it all. Marcus hadn't just escaped a toxic job. He had rewritten the ending. Not as a victim, but as a leader. Asterisk.